just one of those very patient Wolf players who knows when to strike, how to strike, and making sure that every interaction that you have with him, either you pay for it or you're not going to get much out of it. DDog, though, with that Steve, or Enderman, I should say in this scenario, going to get a quick 50 and then some, 68% right off the back. Going to show Jackal, I don't care if you're going to play campy. I'm still going to come in hard and get in that damage.
Yeah, and I always like to see how DDog, like, I know there's many Steve players that really focus on, like, trying to grind out materials, and of course DDog will do that if you so choose just to play this type of game and just rely on laser. But Jackal doesn't need to rely on laser once he gets a hit, missing the turnaround back air, which is super unfortunate, but still a quick 70 now. And, it hits on your shield, but Steve is able to abandon ship just before, and you still get grabbed. It's such a rough thing to hold, but if you end up blocking, you're going to have to hold that so frequently.
Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where if you're in a minecart, you don't know whether to mash or not because your fear is they're going to up smash me. Or in that case, you know, DDog going for the right option and just going for the fair, going to get the stock there. But Jackal putting on that damage work, putting in that work right now, looking real solid. No iron for DDog, so he couldn't get the anvil like he wanted to there. Finally going to go to a 2-stock game, but I mean, from the combo game and from the setup game that we've been seeing from DDog, this could be looking like a favorable game for him.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to go for with your DDog because while he does, they do seem to like to focus on using their iron up with minecarts and with anvils as opposed to using it for tools, which makes a lot of sense. But without giving the proper time to mine, suddenly DDog left with wooden tools, which can make for some really hard times killing. Switching to stone that time and plenty of base knockback all the way across the stage. There's the powered minecart, and not enough, too much damage to mash out of that in time. That is DDog taking the second stock and trying to hold on to this lead with diamond in hand, ready for the last stock.
It's a very odd scenario to see Jackal throw out a raw forward smash like that, but going to get the Nair, the Sour Spot Nair into a Wolf Flash to steal the stock and bring us to an even game, but now you have to deal with an Enderman with a diamond on their hand.
Oh, yeah. It's just a lot to go for and a lot to do it, but I mean, that was a super clutch conversion from Jackal. Suddenly, not being at a percent deficit means he can start playing neutral again and start playing the neutral the way that Jackal likes to do it. Looking for the down air conversion, but still not letting DDog just...
Yeah, anything you can do, I can do with literally one click of a button, says DDog. Gonna get a little bit of damage there. Not gonna extend the combo as most Steves would in those scenarios. Oh my god! No!
He did it. No, you! That's Jackal looked at him and said, no, you! I know you do that. I know that Steves will often do this setup where they have this block in such a precarious spot.
That was frame perfect. Look, it literally disintegrated as he got hit. Oh my god.
I thought he was going to, because of the angle of Wolf back throw, I thought he was going to go hit the side of it, not the bottom.
Yeah, wow. That caught everyone off guard. I mean, that's a good laugh for sure, but DDog, I mean, despite the way that he loses the game, you have to give it up for him. He was definitely putting in that work. Was not making it easy for Jackal whatsoever. Jackal's going to run away with that game, but now DDog really has as long as he's able to get those combo strings that he was getting before with Steve, which shouldn't be too hard on a character like Wolf who's susceptible to getting comboed hard, you know, just like that. Hopefully we're going to see why is it lasting this long?
It was all the way across the stage and then cooked by the down tilt, and suddenly that's a stock. Steve against fast followers. Like, while Wolf generally does pretty well against Steve for the most part because of Wolf having these long lingering aerials and these massively hard punishes like that, just an easy F smash on the neutral getup. If Steve just lands one of those quick tilts, one of these walking jabs, it's all over. So much damage and potentially even stocks afterward. It gets out of hand very quickly. Not to mention these up tilt combos just go further and further because of how quickly Wolf falls into these finishers. But not many up smash finishers coming out from DDog on these ladders. Instead, just trying to keep it very horizontal and very much on the ground.
Yeah, DDog's been doing a really good job just putting on all that, applying all that pressure on Jackal. Jackal, I love the patience right there, not forcing an up air or not forcing any attack to come out, just waiting for DDog to land back on stage. You know, this is what's been helping Jackal so much throughout this game. This is exactly what he meant by, I'm going to start playing a little bit more patient and campy. Just not going to force anything, wait for the opportunity to strike. And so far, he's been keeping it real close.
Yeah,
like that.
There is the up smash on that just raw F smash coming out from DDog. You see it a lot from Steve players, and I pretty much credit Jake for that exclusively, where it's a relatively safe button. It has a lot of shield stun, a lot of shield pushback, so it can be really hard to be punished out of shield. But Wolf, that up smash is a massive scoop, and it does exactly what Jackal needs it to in this game one. Oh, he couldn't go for the real tech chase on the platform because of the block there, messing up his angles. And there's the up smash finally coming out with an anti-air that's not up tilt. And at kill percent, that was exactly what DDog needed. This is exactly what he needs even more. Coming out for the quick 40, not even finishing the combo, just all up tilts and up airs. And still, he's at 54. What the heck? What the heck is this character sometimes?
Keeping it really close. DDog is not going to go down without a fight. Going to make the player that went 25th at main stage, not going to make it easy for him. And once again, the minecart comes out. He has no materials.
He has one block.
Now the game becomes no punish right there from Jackal either. That was a reactable punish right there, but Jackal's going to allow him to come back on stage. 122, still not enough materials to really get anything going, but almost catching it as if it was a little bit more percent, that up smash would have converted.
And still a whiff punish, fine. Okay, there he's not whiffing that same punish. DDog looking for it all, but the fast fall neutral air dodge. Hey, Spaceys, while you may suffer things like this, you may suffer just these really specific combos that end up killing you. What you also have is probably one of the best mid-air defensive tools, being a fast fall neutral air dodge, basically lagless, getting down to the floor so easily, and on the case of Steve up smash, getting a massive punish afterward.
I feel like with Steve, it's always one of those characters that you really need to have a strong mental state, where it's just like, if I got cheesed, don't let that be the deciding factor. All right, you know what? Jackal got cheesed that first stock, fast falling down with Wolf after that down tilt. But you know what? He kept his composure. And even in that game one where he was down, just taking so much damage, getting comboed, all it took was one momentum shift, which was with that block that he took stock with that back throw. I mean, that's all she wrote. If a character like Steve is gonna gimmick you, just gimmick them back with their own tools, and that's exactly what happened. Jackal looking really solid. I mean, leaving right where he left off from Fusion, from main to main stage, up to today here. I mean, he's just that good, man. Yeah,
he continues to cement that he's one of Tri-State's best. He's able to merge together so much of what he's learned in the past from the previous incarnations of Jackal, where, I mean, he's the Sonic player. He's playing super passive, camping you out, waiting, and whiff punishing. Evolving that into Wolf's game plan, finding these massive punishes, learning how to press buttons on people, find safer cross-ups. Now starting to merge some of those ideas together. Safe offense combined with a patient neutral and a brutal punish game, like being able to confidently go for things like Sour Nair into Wolf Flash. All of that can merge together so well and so cleanly to make him even better than he already is. And if a player like Jackal can keep improving, then so can everybody in Tri-State, like with the Arcadian that's happening next week. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of an event. It's going to be one to prepare for. And with the players that we have coming up on deck, I mean, one of these players could be making a statement at that Arcadian. It's going to be Delta Force versus 13 or XIII, whatever you want to call him. He's 13 in Roman numeral, so you know what? That's what we're going to go with. But 13 is one of those players that he's really been on the come up in the most sneakiest way possible. And why is that? Because he mains Marth, a character that you don't see too often, if not at all, around the area. You have like two other Marths around here in Mono and Killikel. But 13 has really been one of those slept-on players that, if you're playing against him and you see a Marth, he's like, okay, he's a Marth. He's like, no, he's really calculated with his stuff.
He's a Marth.
He's a Marth who knows what he's doing. And especially with those buffs that came in handy for, Marth throughout a lot of patches. 13's finally kicking up, and I mean, he got the set win over Pharaoh to get to this point. So
wow,
that's pretty big.
That's a pretty solid upset. And I know 13. So many. There's 3 Marths. Oh my God! And Mono kind of been doing better and better in New York, but 13 recently moving down into New Jersey. So we've been seeing him a lot more at these DNAs, a lot more in Fusion, just coming to a lot more Jersey events and getting better and better for it because of just how he's able to go to these weeklies a lot more frequently and show off just how much more Marth can do, especially given the tipper hitboxes keep getting ever so just a little bit larger every single patch, and that matters so much.
Yeah, Marth is one of those characters that, you know, everybody wanted to play, but it's just like, why play Marth when there's Lucina? Why play Marth when there's Roy or Chrom or any other character? You know, Marth is one of those characters that at the time was a low tier, but, you know, with the patches, with the buffs, that came in handy. You know, a lot of people are starting to consider he could be a high tier at best character. I still have him in the mid range, but 13